YouTube. My name is Daniel Lawrence. I'm the founder of DR Lawrence and Associates, and we're owners, representatives, and construction project managers for the corporate and commercial real estate industry. And today we're going to get into the bid process and what happens during bidding. Specifically, this video is going to address how to create your bid list, which is really how we're going to start off with this whole bidding process during the procurement portion of the design phase. Now, essentially what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be taking all of the contractors and all of the potentials that we may have and whittling it down to just those 3 to 5 that we're actually going to bid the project out to. So I'm going to describe that process, and then here at the end I'm going to give you guys a quick pro tip that should be able to help you prevent any rework or and save some time as you go through this process as well. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is creating our long list of contractors that can potentially work on this project. And then we're going to take that and we're going to whittle it down here to our short list shortly. But what we're going to do is create our long list, and there's essentially going to be 4 different sources that we're going to go to be able to create this list. And we're going to start this in order. So if we're going to need 3 to 5 contractors to bid on a project, we're essentially going to want to come down and have at least 7 or so that we're going to have on our long list. So the first place we're going to go is we're going to go to our client. Our client may have some MSAs, they may have relationship with contractors that they know and that they like, that have done work for them previously, that they want to be able to bid on this project. So we'll take that list, and there's usually not many, depending on the size of your client and in this scenario, you'll have a small handful there. Then the next place that we're going to go is to the landlord. And very similarly, we're going to see if they've got a list of people that they use, that they like, that they know, that are acceptable to work on that project. And that handful that we'll get from them is usually even a little bit smaller. So between those 2 sources, you should be able to get most of the 7 or so that we're looking for to bid on the project. But that might not always be the case. So if we don't have 7 between those or 5 to 7, we're going to start looking then at within our own network, within our own company, so that almost third party that we are, and see other contractors that may have been worked with in the geographical area or in the city or in the market that are also acceptable and that can do this work, that can potentially be added to the bid list. And then if at that point with those 3 sources, if we still don't have enough, the last place we're going to go is simply reach out to the market and do some market research. You can do this by doing a Google search, for example, and seeing what other contractors that are reputable are in the area and finding their contact information and trying to get them into the bid mix. So that's essentially going to be creating our long list. So now we need to take our long list and we need to whittle it down to a short list. So again, to whittle it down to the short list, we're going to revisit the first 2 sources that we'd use to create our long list. Because again, we're going to be working in priority order from those things, from our client suggestions, landlord suggestions, within our own organization, and then with through the market as well. So if our long list is going to be, say, 5 to 7 contractors is the goal to have there. But we need to whittle it down to our short list of people that we're actually going to reach out to and see if they'd like to bid on the project, which will be maybe 3 to 5 in most cases for a project. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our client list and we're going to take our landlord list and we're going to put them side by side and see if there's any overlap. And oftentimes this does happen. There may be a contractor that's on both lists. And so you know right away that that's a contractor that you want to have bid on your project. So they're going to make it to your short list. Once you've gone through that, if you still need to tap into one that's on one side or the other, start filling them in, prioritizing with your client, and then also secondary with your landlord. And again, if you don't have enough at that point, still the 3 to 5, and you should, because your long list should be at 5 to 7. Now you're going to start tapping into that next group that you use to create your long list, which are resources within your own organization or known entities that you've worked with in the past that could potentially get into that bid list. And then lastly, again, also reaching out to the market or Google searches or just any kind of market research that you've done to be able to fill in the number of contractors that you need to be able to bid on a project. At this point, when you've got your short list, you're ready to reach out to your contractors for essentially an intent to bid. when you're doing an intent to bid, you're usually going to send them a copy of the floor plans, not the full drawing set, but mostly maybe even your test fits that are approved, and a copy of the schedule. And you're simply going to be asking them, saying, hey, I've got this project, it's in this area. Is this something that you would be interested in bidding on? Now, you may have contractors that'll come back and say, no, I'm not interested in it. And that's fine. And that's why we keep our long list, because those additional guys that are on that long list can then be our contingencies, because we may need 3 to 5 to bid, which is our short list that we're actually going to reach out to. And if any of them turn it down, now we can bring in some of those extra that are on our long list so that we can fulfill the full set of contractors that we need to be able to bid out this project. Now is time for the quick pro tip that I've got for you guys. Now, when you're doing this, you know that your client is going to need to approve the contracts at the end of the day before you award a contract to a certain contractor. And likewise, the landlord is also going to need to approve that award decision. And again, the award decision is way down in the bidding process. We've got several more videos that will be coming out that detail all of that to get to that point where we're awarding and contracting. But it's important right here ahead of the game, when you've got your bid list, now your short list, but your long list in particular, you want to go ahead and review that with your client as well as the landlord and make sure that they approve of using anybody that's on that long list, because you don't want to have to go through the motions of the whole bid process and then potentially even get all the way down to the award process, or the award portion of the bid process. And then your landlord says, oh no, they're barred from the building, they're not allowed to bid, or they've got a bad relationship with your client and so they don't want them to bid either. Now you've gone through all of those motions and you essentially need to start over, which is going to cost you time, and it's going to cost you money, and it's going to cost you frustration on not only your end, but the client as well as the landlord. So everybody, thank you again for watching this video. I'd like to remind you guys that all of our content is produced in-house and distributed to you guys completely by us. We don't use any outside contractors. So if you guys like this content, please be sure to like and subscribe. It helps us out a lot, and it allows us to continue to bring all of this stuff to your forefront. So thank you again, and remember to visit us at DR Lawrence and Associates for all of your construction project management needs, and we'll see you guys in the next one.